The cold wind blew across the silent colony, carrying dust and dry leaves with it. Inside a small metal shelter, a man named Cal sat alone, eating a cold ration bar. The sun had set an hour ago, and the power grid barely worked now. Most people had left the outer zones, as only a few stayed behind. Cal was one of them. A repair tech, a loner, and a man who had already lost too much during the war. He was about to close his eyes and rest when knock came the sound, not loud, just soft, almost unsure. He sat up straight. No one ever knocked on his door. He hadn't spoken to anyone in days. The knock came again. Grabbed the old plasma wrench beside his bed and walked to the door slowly. His boots scraped the dusty. Flora, then, he heard a voice. Soft, shaky, almost broken. I can cook. I can clean. I can be quiet, please. He paused. That wasn't a voice he expected. Not human, it was. Too light, too melodic. He pressed a button, and the old metal door groaned open. There she stood, thin, barefoot. Alien, her skin shimmered faintly under the porch light, silver and lilac, like moonlight on water. Her long dark hair was tangled, her arms covered in faint, glowing marks. Her clothes were torn, simple, barely enough to block the wind. But her eyes, large, pale, and filled with quiet pain, looked straight into his. She bowed her head quickly and spoke again. You don't have to talk to me. I'll stay in a corner. I can cook. I can clean. I won't cause trouble. Cal blinked. He had seen aliens during the war, fought them even. But she didn't look like a soldier. She looked broken. He stepped back slowly. Why me? She looked up, her lips trembling. Because your door had light, and you didn't shoot when I knocked. That hit something inside him. He didn't know what. He glanced around. There was nothing in the darkness, just cold silence. Fine, he muttered. Come in. But you pull anything weird, you're gone. Got it. She nodded fast, stepped in and stood by the wall like a shadow. She didn't ask questions. She didn't even look around. Stood there quietly. Cal sat back down, watched her, waiting. Nay. He asked. She shook her head. Don't have one anymore. He frowned. Everyone's got a name. She hesitated, then whispered, they called me Veru. Before. Didn't reply. He wasn't sure what to say. A few minutes passed in silence. Then she moved. Quiet as a feather, she walked to the corner kitchen and started organizing the mess. Without being asked, she cleaned the dishes, sorted the tools, and lit the heat coils. Soon, the smell of warm soup filled the shelter. Cal stared at her, confused. She moved like she'd done this 1,000 times. I had to serve them, she said softly, not turning around. The ones who won't let me go. He felt a chill run through him. You ran from the syndicate? She nodded. Cal sat up straighter. The syndicate weren't just enemies. They were slavers, bioengineers, monsters, and they didn't like losing property suddenly. He wasn't sure letting her in was a good idea. The shelter lights flickered. Veru turned and offered a steaming bowl to him. Her hands shook. I know. How to blend in. Please don't send me back. Cal stared at the bowl, then at her. Something about her eyes. They weren't just scared. They were tired, hollow, like someone who had seen too much. Still, he needed answers. What's that on your arm? He asked, pointing. She looked down. The glowing vine-like marks on her skin pulsed faintly. Tracker, she whispered. What? It's old, broken. I tried to fry the core. Cal stood and grabbed a scanner. He aimed it at her arm. The scanner beeped. Partially functional, it said. She closed her eyes. I was hoping. It was dead. Turn the scanner off. We'll deal with it tomorrow. She seemed surprised. You're letting me stay? He shrugged. You cleaned? You've been quiet? A weak smile formed on her lips for the first time. But just as quickly, it vanished. That night, Cal couldn't sleep. Something about her didn't add up. He got up quietly, walked to the table where she had left her scarf and froze. Beneath the folds was a small metal cube. It blinked once. Then again, it wasn't cooking gear. He didn't touch it. He looked at Veru, sleeping curled up near the warm coils like a cat, and he whispered to himself, "What the hell did I let in?" Asterisk, the morning light was dull, filtered through cracked plastic. Panels on the roof. The air inside the shelter was warm, thick with the scent of something cooking. Cal blinked awake and looked around. Veru wasn't in her corner anymore. She was in the kitchen. Moving silently, barefoot on the cold floor, steam rising from a small pot. No sound, no humming, just soft movements, careful, almost invisible. It had been years since anyone cooked for him. "Morning," he said, rubbing his eyes. She looked over her shoulder, startled. "I didn't mean to wake you. You didn't." He sat down, his gaze drifting toward the scarf from last night, the scarf that had hidden that strange blinking cube. But it was gone now. "It's not on the table. I thought I saw something in." "Your things," he said casually. Her hands paused over the pot. "I moved them. Sorry." He nodded slowly. "You always hide things?" "Don't steal," she replied quickly. "I just protect what little I have." She poured the soup into a cracked ceramic bowl and placed it before him. "Food is better warm," she said softly. "You shouldn't eat cold rations. It makes your stomach hard." Cal didn't know if that was an old alien saying or just a habit from slavery. Still, he ate. It was good. Real good. It's too good. "You sure you weren't a chef?" She shook her head. "I wasn't allowed in the kitchens. I just watched, listened." "Watched through what?" She looked away. "The vents." Cal didn't ask more. Instead, he opened his toolbox and sat down at the console, checking the colony perimeter scans. Motion sensors, energy fields. Basic stuff, nothing strange, until he noticed one feed from last night was missing. Sector 4. Nearest to his door, he clicked again. Error, corrupted data stream. Strange, that feed had worked all week. He checked another angle. Static. No video. "Veru," he said slowly. "Did you touch the surveillance system?" She didn't turn around. I don't know what that is." He stood up and faced her. "Don't lie to me. The cameras, the motion grid." Someone deleted a feed from last night. She looked scared, but calm. Like she had practiced this. "I was afraid someone followed me," she said. "I only deleted one outside. I didn't mean harm. You tampered with my systems," he snapped. She stepped back. "Shh. If they knew where I went, they'd come for both of us." "I didn't want to bring death to your door," Cal clenched. His fist and that cube? What is it? A beacon? "No," she said quickly. It's a memory chip." "Memory of what?" She hesitated. "Things I can't say. Not yet." Cal stared at her. Part of him wanted to toss her out. The other part wanted to understand her. She didn't act like a spy. She acted like a broken bird trying to hide its wings. He walked over to a locked crate in the corner and opened it. Inside were sensor blockers, old war tech, and one small energy cage. He handed it to her. "Put the chip in here. If it's harmless, we'll see." She nodded silently and reached under her shawl. The cube emerged. Small, smooth, still blinking. Faintly, she placed it inside. The cage lit up. No power surge. No signals, just soft blinking. "Green, happy now?" she asked quietly. Cal didn't reply. He was watching her eyes. There was no fear in them. Just sadness. He returned to his tools and scanned the area again. This time, the motion detector on the north fence was tripped. He checked the camera. A blurry shadow moved through the dust. Tall, fast, too fast for local wildlife. He replayed it. In slow motion, long limbs, armor, heat signature cold. Not human. Not Syndicate Patrol. Hunter.Cal turned toward her. "You were followed." Her lips tightened. "I wasn't sure. Should have said something. I didn't want to be sent away." Grabbed his plasma rifle. His hands moved fast now. "We've got about 5 hours before that thing figures out the perimeter layout. After that, if we're still here, It walks right in. Viru's hands trembled. I can help. How? She touched her glowing arm lightly. This is more than a tracker. It's also bait. They're coming for it. Then take it off, Cal said. I can't. It's fused. Cal cursed under his breath. She looked up at him. You can send me away, she said softly. Or you can fight with me. He stared. At her, so much had changed in just one night. He had let in a stranger who cooks, cleans, and stays quiet, just like she promised. But now she had brought danger to his door, and yet didn't feel angry. He felt awake. Maybe for the first time in years. The bunker was dark, except for the soft green glow of the energy cage holding the strange memory cube. Cal sat beside it, silent. The weight of 1,000 questions sat on his shoulders. Veru stood near the far wall, arms crossed, head low, like she had been scolded. Outside, the wind blew harder now. A storm was coming, or maybe worse. Cal finally spoke. You knew it was a hunter, didn't you? Viru didn't answer at first. Then softly, she said, Yes. Why lie? I didn't want you to throw me out, she whispered. Cal stared at the screen where the shadowy figure had passed the outer fence hours ago. It had vanished again, but they both knew it hadn't left. It was waiting. He leaned back and asked, the one question he'd held back for too long, Who are you really? Veru lifted her head slowly. Her silver lilac skin shimmered in the faint light. I used to be owned, she said, by a syndicate warlord. High class, not just a fighter he. Planned battles, broke codes, erased planets from maps. I was trained to serve him, clean, cook, disappear into the background. Cal looked at her closely. But you didn't just run away. You took something. That cube, what is it really? Vero glanced at the blinking object in the cage. It's everything he was planning. Locations, commands, failsafes. I copied it during a systems shutdown. One mistake and he would have killed me. Cal's heart thumped, and now they want it back. She nodded. Then why bring it here to me? I hesitated again and said something that froze him. Because I knew your brother. Cal stood up slowly, his voice turning sharp. My brother's dead. Viru's voice didn't change. He was captured. 3 years ago on the outer moons, he died during the syndicate skirmishes. That's what Command said. Veru shook her head. I saw him alive. He was being kept in a deep cell. They were trying to break him. He was strong. Too strong. Cal's hands tightened into fists. His chest burned. Did he? Did he talk about me? He whispered your name? Over and over, she said, even when they punished him. That broke something inside Cal. His brother Yolan wasn't just a war hero. It was the only family Cal had left. His last words, to Cal, sent years ago, had been short and cold, just a duty report. But now, this strange, quiet woman had brought him back in a whisper. Why didn't they kill him? He asked. Viru looked down. Because he solved something, she whispered. Something they couldn't. A weapon, a defense. I don't know what, but they wanted it. And when he wouldn't give it to them, they put him in Project Mirror. Cal frowned. That's just a myth. No, she said. A place where minds are copied, stretched, broken, and reprogrammed. His throat went dry. How do you know? Because I was sent to watch it happen. Her voice broke for the first time. Her shoulders shook, but she didn't cry. Was assigned to clean outside the control room. I wasn't supposed to see the screen, but I did, and I saw his mind break, then fight back. Cal's chest felt tight, and you escaped with this cube. After that, Viru nodded. It was the only way to make it matter. He stepped back, mind spinning, so his brother was still alive, or at least his mind was, and this woman had risked everything to bring the proof. Outside, the perimeter alarm chirped. Motion, Sector 3. Closer now, the hunter was back. Cal checked the screen. This time, the figure didn't vanish. Stood still, tall, thin, wearing reflective armor that shifted with the wind. It raised its head toward the camera and waved. Veru gasped. That's not a scout, that's him. the warlord. Cal's. The voice was low. He came himself. They always clean their mess personally when it's this important. Cal stared at the hunter on the screen. Oh, no one else had ever gotten this close to the colony without being blown apart by the field, and yet here he was, watching, waiting. What's he waiting for? Cal asked. Veru's voice trembled. For me to run. Or for you to throw me out. He looked at her. I'm not throwing you out. She blinked, surprised. Why? Because my brother might still be alive. And you're the only one. Who saw him? She nodded slowly, then reached into her sleeve and pulled out a small metal tag. What's that? Cal asked. She placed it in his hand. It was scratched and rusted, but the numbers were clear. J81293, Humanist Brothers prisoner tag. Cal stared at it. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Asterisk, the metal tag sat on the table, scratched and stained. Cal had looked at it 5 times already, like his brother's spirit might speak through it. J81293, human. He'd memorized that number during the war, checking prisoner rosters every week, hoping, until command said, presumed dead. But now Vero's whisper had ripped that certainty apart. He stood in his bunker, silent, while Vero sat on the floor near the heater coils. Hugging her knees, neither had spoken much since the hunter appeared. Outside, the storm had passed, but the fear hadn't. We need answers, Cal said finally. Real ones, not guesses. Veru looked up. What kind? Anything my brother left behind, anything that connects to. Project Mirror. Her eyes flickered. That name is dangerous. I don't care. He opened an old hatch in the wall and pulled out a dusty crate labeled with faded military paint. JCUNIT9, confiscated. I never opened this, he said. They shipped it to me after the war. Said it was recovered from a shuttle wreck. I thought it was junk. Dropped it on the floor and pried it open. Inside, scraps of metal, scorched datapad, a folded jacket with dried blood, and a small notebook. Veru reached for the notebook carefully, her fingers shaking as she turned the pages. Cal leaned over. The first few pages were blank, burnt edges, torn corners. Then came words, scribbled in fast, tired handwriting. They don't want weapons. They want minds. They want us to program ourselves. Veru's voice caught. That's exactly what the Mirror Project was about. A living code, human thought, reshaped. Cal grabbed the datapad and tried to power it on. Nothing. He opened the back static coils. Burnt chips, but one storage core still intact. He inserted it into his console. Lines of corrupted code flickered. But then an image loaded. It was grainy. Half broken, a face, human, bruised, smiling. JLEN double quotes. Cal, the video crackled. If you're seeing this. They didn't break me. Not fully. Veru gasped softly. Her hand flew to her mouth. I'm inside the simulation now. Jalen's voice continued. They think they erased me, but I left pieces. Copies buried deep. He coughed blood. Staining his lips. I need someone to find me. Not just my body, my mind. The real me is locked in a node labeled Echo 7. Don't trust what you see, and if she's with you, protect her. She helped me remember. The screen glitched. Static. Tell Earth they got it wrong. The war isn't over. Then dash black. The recording ended. Cal stood frozen. His jaw clenched. Veru's eyes were wet now, but she didn't cry. I told you, she whispered. He fought. Even when they tore everything else apart. Cal stared at her. Said you helped him remember. She looked down. They made me watch him, for weeks. It's like a pet experiment. But one night, he asked my name. And then, he told me a story. About 2 boys who broke a military cum tower with chewing gum. Cal's chest tightened. That was us, he whispered. I memorized it, she said. So I could tell you. If I ever found you. For a long time, no one spoke. Just the low hum of the bunker. Then the console beeped. An alert. Energy field breach. Cal turned to the screen. The hunter was gone, but something else had appeared to signal. Low frequency. A single transmission code. Echo 7. Cal and Viru looked at each other. That's not random, he said. That's bait. Viru nodded. That's a location. The prison node. But why now? Viru's voice dropped. Because he knows we've seen the message. He's tracking this console. He's inviting us. Double quotes. Cal backed away. It's a trap, yes, she said. But also, maybe a chance. He looked at the tag again, at the photo on screen. At the woman who had carried his brother's story. In silence, expecting nothing in return, he made a choice. Get your gear, he said. We're going. Viru stood up slowly. To Echo 7, to bring him home, Cal said. Or burn that place down trying. The stars outside the shuttle window felt too quiet. Cal sat in the pilot seat of the old transport cruiser, hands tight on the controls. Beside him, Viru stared ahead, her glowing arm faint under her coat. They were close now. The signal pulsed. Faintly on the scanner, ECH-07. Location, unknown. Coordinates locked, but there was nothing in front of them. Just empty space. No moons, no satellites, not even debris. You sure this is it? Cal asked. Viru nodded slowly. It's there. It's just hidden. They never let the prisoners see stars. The station is cloaked from every angle. Cal tapped the console, rerouted power to external pulses, and sent out a sonar ping. Silence then. A shape shimmered. Not real at first. Like fog bending light, then there it was. A massive structure faded into view. Long and wide like a battleship, but no weapons. Just metal and silence. It floated between gravitational pockets, anchored to nothing. A ghost in deep space. Cal stared. That's not a station, he muttered. That's a tomb. Viru's voice was barely a whisper. That's Project Mirror. They docked quietly. No alarms. No guards. The hangar opened for them, like it was waiting inside. Lights flickered weakly. Metal walls were scarred, like something had clawed them from the inside. They walked slowly, Cal holding his rifle ready. Viru followed behind him, her steps soft. The corridors were cold. Every few meters, broken screens blinked with strange symbols. Echoes of forgotten data. Where is everyone? Cal whispered. Viru didn't answer. She was looking at the walls, symbols, prisoner codes, and something else. Wrongs. Crude drawings of faces. Dozens of them. Be hundreds. Each one different. Those are the minds, she said. Stored here, some copied, some erased. Cal turned to her. Did my brother end up on one of these walls? She shook her head. No. He fought back too hard. They kept him separate. They reached a door at the end of a long hallway. ECH-07. Restricted unODE'd, opened slowly with a hiss. Inside nothing. Just one large room with a single pod in the middle. It glowed faint blue dot. Cal stepped forward, heart pounding inside the Padaman. Still pale, wires in his skull. Skin dry, but breathing. Barely it was him. Jay, his face was thinner, his hair longer. But it was him. Cal reached out and pressed. A hand against the glass. You stubborn fool, he whispered. Viru stood beside the pod. Her fingers moved to a control panel. There's something you need to know, she said. This isn't just a stasis pod, it's a neural loop. Mind has been trapped in a repeating simulation for years. Cal looked at her. How do we get him out? She paused. We have to break the loop from inside. His voice turned sharp. Inside? Viru opened a panel. Second chair extended from the floorboard, cracked, with metal strands and injection. Ports. Cal stared at it. No. There's no other way, she said softly. You're his closest bond. If your neural signature matches, you can guide him out. He looked at his brother again. The man who once covered him with a jacket during cold training nights. The man who vanished and never came home. I don't care what it takes, Cal. Said let's do it. He sat in the chair. The cold metal wrapped around his arms, his legs, his neck. Viru touched his shoulder. Don't lose yourself. I've already been lost, he whispered. Maybe this time I come back with someone. The machine clicked. Wires pulsed. The room went white. And then he was somewhere else. The floor beneath him was soft grass. The sky above green? Not real? A false memory? And standing in front of him, Jalen, alive, unchanged, but different. His eyes were cold, empty. Who are you? Yalin said. Cal took a shaky breath. I'm your brother. Yalin didn't move. Ow. I don't have a brother. I'm a soldier. I have no past. Cal's voice cracked. They lied to you. Gave me peace. Cal stepped forward. They stole you. Yalin raised a hand, an energy pulse formed in his palm. You're the ghost, he said. You're the infection. Then he fired. Cal didn't feel the pain, but the blast from Jalen's hand threw him backward, through this dream-grass. The green sky above twisted into metal. This wasn't just a mind prison, it was a trap shaped. Like comfort, Jalen stood tall, cold, and robotic, a shadow of who he used to be. The older brother, who once carried Cal on his shoulders, now stared like a machine. Weapon drawn. Don't come back, he said. There's nothing here for you. Cal pulled himself to his feet. You don't remember the tunnels? The gum? In the cum system, that's our memory hours. Jalen's hand trembled, just a little. Those stories were deleted. Cal stepped closer. You told them to her. Veru, she remembered. Yalin blinked. His hand lowered slightly. She helped me? Cal nodded. She kept your story alive, and even I had stopped looking. The dream world around them flickered. Cracked. The grass browned. The sky turned gray. Something was changing, but outside, time was running out. Back on. The station Veru paced the cold floor, watching Cal twitch in the neural chair. Sweat rolled down his neck. His fingers jerked, then dashed footsteps. She turned. The hangar door opened. Slowly a figure entered, tall, armored in black and silver. The warlord. His helmet shone with cruel light. His voice echoed through the room like thunder wrapped in silk. Veru. She froze. You ran far, he said, stepping closer. But I always find my things. I'm not yours, she whispered. He tilted his head. You always say that, yet you always return to your true place, at my feet. He glanced at Cal, locked in the chair. Ah, the little brother, risking his mind for a ghost. Veru raised a metal tool like a weapon. Her hand shook. Stay back, he laughed. You're going to protect a human? After everything they let happen to your world? She didn't move. He opened his door. The warlord paused. What? He didn't ask for anything. Let me in. The warlord's voice turned sharp. Then he's even more foolish than I thought. He raised his gauntlet, energy buzzing. Step aside, Veru. No. In a flash, the warlord attacked. Veru dodged, barely. Sparks flew as the blast hit the wall. She reached for the energy cage. But the cube was gone. Her arm started glowing. The old markings on her skin pulsed bright blue now, not purple. The tracker wasn't dead. It had changed. She stared at her palm. Then she understood. The cube wasn't just a memory device. It had copied something. Her voice, her thoughts, her defiance. And now it was awake. She raised her glowing hand and... The warlord hesitated. That's not possible, he growled. You were a servant. She stepped forward. Not anymore. Then she released the charge. A wave of pure white light burst from her palm, slamming into him. He screamed, his armor shattered at the chest. Sparks flew. The lights across the station flickered. Systems shorted. The simulation chair sparked. Inside the mind prison, Yalin collapsed to his knees. His eyes flickered. What's happening? He gasped. Cal grabbed his brother's arms. They're trying to shut you down. We have seconds. Come back with me now, or you'll fade. I'm not sure who I am, Yalin said. You're my brother, Cal said, pressing their foreheads. Together, and you're coming home. A giant crack shook the dream. The sky split apart. Yalan cried out, but he held on to Cal. The light swallowed them. Back in the real world, the simulation chair released Cal with a hiss. He fell forward, gasping. Yalan, he cried. The pod opened, smoke poured out in a figure tumbled forward, skin pale. Eyes dazed, but breathing delay. Veru dropped to her knees, exhausted. Her skin no longer shimmered. The glowing marks had vanished. Cal caught his brother in his arms. You came back, Ellen whispered, barely able to speak. Didn't want to cook or clean. Cal laughed, choked on tears. You were always the lazy one. But the joy didn't last. An alert sounded. Power core failing. The station was collapsing. Veru struggled to stand. We have to go now. Cal pulled Yolan up. I'll carry him. They rushed to the shuttle, systems dying behind them. Just before boarding, Cal turned to Veru. How did you stop him? Warlord. She looked up at him. Weak, pale. I didn't stop him. I burned the part of me that he could control. Cal stared, heart heavy. You could have run. You stayed. She smiled faintly. You gave me soup and silence. Then she collapsed. The shuttle rocked as it broke atmosphere. The sky of the nearby colony world came into red clouds, deep mountains, and a long-forgotten landing pad blinking with blue lights below. Inside the shuttle, silence. Veru lay in the back still, pale, barely breathing. Yalan lay beside her, weak but conscious, his eyes blinking slowly. Cal sat between them, one hand on each. His heart beat like a drum. He had his brother back, but the one who saved him might be fading. She needs medical help, Yolan said, voice rough. Cal nodded. Soon, but even he knew no medic could fix what Veru gave up. She hadn't been shot. She hadn't been burned. She had simply let go of whatever was inside her. That power, that glow hit had kept her alive far longer than her body could last. Now, the glow was gone, and she looked so human, so quiet. They landed near a forgotten outpost, just a few old med bots still running diagnostics. Cal carried her in his arms. She was light, too light. He laid her gently on a cot inside the med bay. The bots scanned her. Vitals unstable. Neural signature fading. Unknown hybrid. Structure failing. Cal looked at her face. Her lips moved slightly. He leaned closer. I can cook. I can clean. I can be quiet. No, Cal whispered. You're more than that now. Yalan entered slowly, holding onto the wall for balance. She didn't just break the trap, he said. She rewrote the code. Cal frowned. Do you mean she used her own signature to overwrite the simulation? That's why I came back. Not because of the machine. It's because of her. Oh. Cal sat beside her, brushing her hair back gently. She risked everything. And never asked for anything. Yolan nodded. I owe her. We both do. Outside, the red sun was rising. Hours passed. The medbots worked, scanned, paused, worked. Again, Cal never left her side. She didn't move, didn't open her eyes. But then, one small thing changed. Her hand twitched. Just once, then again the scanner blinked. Hybrid neural pattern reforming. Core spark reactivating. Yalan stared. She's rebuilding. I don't know how, Cal said, but maybe she never stopped. A soft beep. Her eyes opened. Not glowing, but calm. Real alive. Cal leaned in. Hey, Veru blinked. Her lips parted. I didn't mean to sleep so long. Cal smiled, eyes glassy. You earned it. She looked at Yalan, then back to Cal. Is he okay? He's home, Cal said, because of you. Her gaze dropped. I was afraid you'd leave me behind. Cal took her hand. You were never behind. You were the one walking ahead. Days passed. Yalan recovered quickly, though his mind needed time. He said little, slept often, but each morning he sat near Veru and offered her small pieces of memory, a story, a song, a joke only she could remember, and each time her smile grew stronger. Cal rebuilt the outpost one panel at a time. He made it livable, safe. Quiet one evening, Veru walked outside alone, wrapped in a blanket. The wind playing with her hair, Cal joined her. They stood side by side, looking at the stars. "Still want to cook and clean?" he asked softly. She smiled. "Only if it's your kitchen." He looked at her, warmth in his chest, and quiet. She touched his arm. "I was quiet because no one ever listened." "You listened." Cal nodded. "And now?" She faced him fully. "Now." "I want to speak." She paused. "But only if you'll stay." He didn't answer. Instead, he reached out and opened the door behind her. His home. "They're home now." "I opened it once," he said, "because someone whispered." She nodded. "And now I'm never closing it again."